Hey there, everybody. New studio, new intro. I'm just here to remind you guys before you listen to today's episode, make sure you follow the show and subscribe wherever you listen. If you watch the show on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, you comment, you like, and you share. Also, follow my social media, all of it, both Instagrams, my Twitter, follow it all. Your life is to be consumed by my life. Tell everybody that you know about me. Start conversations with the fact that the Smoking Simian is your favorite podcast. Bombard everyone that you know and love with the Smoking Simian. Send them links day in and day out of my show, of the episodes, of my posts. Get thrown out of your house because the only thing that you care about is the Smoking Simian. Do it. Enjoy today's episode. Bye-bye. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. I am fresh off of a couple days of needless travel and spending excessive spending. I went to New York this past weekend, which is why I'm literally fresh off of a train. Fresh off of a train. Like right now, it's Sunday for me. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock now. Wow, I didn't even realize it. It's 4 o'clock now. I am still wearing the thrift store outfit that I purchased while I was in New York because I decided to stay an extra day, and the clothes I was wearing before that were fucking disgusting. I'm sitting here with a fucking, I don't even know, this shirt looks like a coffee table that your not a coffee table, god damn it. See, I'm all fucked up. A tablecloth, haha. A tablecloth that would go on a coffee table that your grandmother would have in her house. That's what this fucking shirt is like. It's nice. I like it, you know? And I'm wearing it bust open right now because fuck. It is hot than a bitch. Traveling all day these past couple days. I figure I'd tell you all about it. But before I do that, I should preface this whole story with something that happened to me last week. Something that I just want to get out there. It's not a monumental deal. It sucks, but it is what it is. I am newly single. Newly single. All right, I'll drop that on you. Ladies, please do not flood the DMs. I'm not putting my number out there. So, no. But what was it? Last Monday or whatever, it all went down. I think I alluded to it on Thursday's episode, but I wasn't, entirely ready to even bring it up. And now there's really no reason for me to even bring it up, if I'm being honest, other than to clarify that what happens in this story that what happened this past weekend doesn't make me a scumbag. I wasn't cheating. I wasn't doing anything like that because I wasn't in a relationship. So. And I think what kind of prompted me to go ahead and just go to New York for a couple days was now that I'm single, there's kind of nothing stopping me from moving to New York once my lease is up in this fucking shithole town of New London. If I could do it even quicker, that would be nice, somehow, some way. But in my mind, I have 10 months. I have 10 months until April to figure out my situation and get my simple, stupid fucking ass over to New York and really attack comedy the way I fucking want to. Because moving to New London, guys, if you haven't noticed, has been a fucking terrible experience. Everything bad that can go bad has been going bad here. I've pretty much sacrificed everything for this comedy thing, and I'm only really on a consistent basis. I'm only 10 months in, 11 months in, right? August will be a year in total. So that goes to show that I just jump into things like a fucking animal. That's what I do all the time. And then I quit them. But comedy's not going to be on that list. Comedy's going to be the way that I live. It's going to be the way that I live. I want to live like an artist. I watched the George Carlin documentary. And by the way, if you're a comedian, if you're just a person in general, if you're just a human being walking around, you need to watch the George Carlin documentary. If you've never heard of him, George Carlin is arguably the greatest comedian that's ever lived. In my opinion, he is. But everybody's got a different opinion. Who gives a fuck? Mine doesn't matter, neither does yours. But I watched that documentary, and it was so fucking interesting because he had like 5 different careers, right? Like he came out, he started off as like a suit and tie, clean comic, kind of like the Beatles. He started off very much like the Beatles, where he was doing things that he felt like he had to do if he wanted to be famous, if he wanted to be a movie star, which was kind of what he wanted. But he found his way doing comedy, and he started off with a lot of characters, fairly clean comedy, some suggestive material, but nothing crazy. And this was around the time when Lenny Bruce was doing the crazy stuff. Carlin was younger than him, but this is when Lenny was at the top of the heap, doing the crazy shit. Crazy shit of the time, we'll say. And Carlin ended up going that route and becoming the counterculture guy. The words you can't say on television. He got arrested, went to court for it, beat the case, all these things. And he started to be the counterculture guy, talking about, drugs a little bit more openly and that type of thing. And then he hit a slump. He hit a creative slump. They were saying his stuff was dated. His subject matter was nonsense. He kind of hit a point where, not every artist, you don't get you get so much time. You can't be the guy all the time. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're a great, which he ended up being. But especially for an artist, you got to keep creating. You got to keep reinventing yourself because eventually the thing's going to break, right? They say the term, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Eventually, you might have to fix it, right? It's very rare that you get someone that does the same thing forever and it's, it's solid. It holds course, right? I mean, I guess there's James Brown. That's the first guy that popped into my head. Simple song, simple music, kind of the same thing the whole way through. And hey, that works for him. It might be a little different for music. I don't know. I'm going on a tangent here. My whole point of this was that he got to a point where he didn't really know where to go with his comedy. He was kind of falling off a little bit, and he needed to reinvent himself. And he said something in the documentary where it's stuck with me since I watched it. And he was talking about his struggles during this time, and he said that he saw Kinison, and Kinison was a big influence on him because he was talking about crazy shit, but also some kind of pressing issues, but mostly crazy shit. And that sparked something in his interest. And he said, let's be a fucking artist. Let's be a fucking artist, is what he said. And what that means to me is let's figure this fucking thing out. Jay-Z had another thing where he's like, as an artist, you kind of don't know where you're going, but you got to know that it's gonna go. It's gonna be the thing. And that's how you know you have true faith in your ability to create and true faith in the fact that you can keep pursuing your art. Keep doing it until you're fucking old. I mean, Carlin was 71, still on the road. That guy just got better and better and better with time. And then his next phase was going into the phase that a lot of people know him for. In the 90s, where he was always talking about social issues, problems in the world, making it funny, of course, but just a relentless attack on it. And then even later in his life, his last 2 specials, It's Bad For You, and what's the other one? Life's Worth Losing, even Complaints and Grievances. Those were like apocalyptic, dystopian, like very pointed points of view. And he got to that point by being an artist, like a true... another thing that he said in there was he mentioned a cellist who's like 90 years old or something, and someone asked him, why do you still play? And he's like, well, I see improvement. Right? Never-ending improvement in your art, which to me sounds like a whole lot of fun. It keeps a motherfucker like me occupied. And if I get to do it forever and ever and ever, fuck. Sounds like a good deal to me. I'm drinking water. You guys can probably tell my words are all over the place. I can't come up with coherent thoughts like I normally can because, again, this weekend, very, very fun time, something I needed. I never got to what prompted me to go to New York. You see? I remembered, though. I remember to go back. I wanted to do comedy, and it was Friday night, or it was going to be Friday, and this past weekend, I was supposed to hang out with Caroline. We were going to go to a wedding on Friday. Saturday, we were going to hang out. Sunday, we were going to go to Six Flags. She was going to leave Monday. And, I took the whole weekend off. Whole weekend off work. Made no money. Kind of in a shitty state of mind, right? Just broke up with my girlfriend for 2.5 years, or, whatever it was. And I spent money on a suit, like to get it tailored and shit, to get it to look nice. I spent money there. I was going to spend money on a haircut. I spent $60 on a haircut down the street. I didn't get it, right? You guys can see it, but I'll have to get it soon. And, and I took the whole weekend off. If I didn't pick up a shift this coming Wednesday, I wouldn't work until Friday. And that's dog shit, especially since I don't make any money there already. Now that I'm not working, it's like, you're making even less money. But anyway, but now it's like, okay, I had the whole weekend to myself. I don't want to just fucking sit around. I want to do some shit. I got the weekend. What are my options? And I wanted to do comedy. So normally on Friday nights, there's a room in West Haven, Think Funny, shout out, Think Funny. Think Funny Productions, the whole deal, comedy club. I think I've spoken about it on here, but JB Smooth's brother, Floyd, Think Floyd, he puts together a room at a hotel in West Haven, Connecticut, and it flooded. It flooded on Friday, so I was like, fuck, I don't get to do comedy. I wanted to do comedy. I've kind of hit a wall with being able to do comedy. Because, again, everything is super far from here, from where I live. There's no comedy in my area. Everything's an hour away. So moving to New London has made it infinitely tougher to pursue my comedy. I still do it, but it's tough. It's way tough. The money on gas, of course, I picked the perfect time to do it. I picked the perfect time to move out to a fucking new state where I don't know anybody, and I need to drive all over the place. I picked a great time where we're about to induce a recession. Isn't that good? That's good, right? I don't know. I think that's a good thing. So it's been increasingly difficult to pursue comedy. Again, I still do it because I fucking love it and I want to be a fucking artist. But Friday, I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? I can't do a spot. Let's go to New York. And I had the intention of leaving Saturday morning, but things went awry. So, Friday, I text Kev. He's my room for the night. And I'm like, hey, I'm coming down. I'm going to try and do some comedy. We can chill. And then I'll sleep over and I'll leave Saturday. And he's like, yeah, cool, let's do it. We can go to a free Nas concert. A completely free Nas concert right next to the Brooklyn Bridge. Beautiful fucking view. Beautiful view. He ended up, well, let me wait, because it was really, really nice. And I want to do it justice. And right now I'm just kind of babbling on. But so I took a train, right? I took a train from New London to New Haven, and then from New Haven I took another train to Grand Central. And by the time I got there, I had a couple hours before the spot that I wanted to go do. It was at the Producers Club over on 44th Street. Yeah, that makes sense. 44th Street. Wasn't very far from Grand Central. So I headed over there. I hung out. I ate some fucking pizza or whatever. And then I went in there, and the thing wasn't going on. The open mic. I was sitting around. I was waiting. Nobody's there to help you. Nobody's there to tell you anything. Oh, yeah, she'll be here. Whatever. They don't give a fuck. Producers Club. Pretty cool place. It was like a theater. They were doing theater shit. Whatever. I was there for the open mic. It didn't happen. No open mic. So I left, and I was like, hey, Kevin, let's go to this fucking concert. Let's do it. So I go to his house. I am already in my clothes for the night, and we head out. But before we head out, I had to make sure that I had all the chemicals I needed squared away and in my body. Now, mind you, this night was the epitome of professionalism when it comes to doing drugs. Now, when I say drugs, I don't mean real drugs. I've never put anything in my nose. I've never put anything in my arm. The fact that I even have to say that I've never put anything in my arm is pretty crazy. I've never taken any pills, and I've never smoked a cigarette until this past weekend. Dun dun dun. We'll get into that. There's a fun aspect to this story. So before we left, we took a couple. Did we take bong hits? I don't remember. No bong hits. We didn't take any bong hits, but I did shotgun a Red Bull, right? So we need the energy. Give me the energy. I've just been on 2 trains. I walked around the city. I didn't get to do my fucking open mic. I'm still in a shitty mental state, right? At the beginning of this whole thing, still in a shit place. Kind of upset, tired at this point. Shotgun a Red Bull. Boom. Get you right to it. Get you right after it. Then Kevin's like, let's do mushrooms. The single greatest thing to grow from the planet. The thing that caused us to get to where we are as humans today, aside from all the terrible things, but we, our brains develop from eating this shit, you know? And anybody that tells you different is just a hater, man. They're just a fucking close-minded hater. Oh, man. You guys get to hear my chugs. You know you're getting older when after you take a drink of something, you go, oh yeah. But anyway, where are we? Red Bull, shotgun the Red Bull. He's like, hey, let's eat some mushrooms. Cool, I brought my own mushrooms. Nice, I eat some of mine, he eats some of his. And we hit the town. We took a train. We went right over to the Brooklyn Bridge where we hung out. And this was like an exclusive event. If you had an NFT, a certain NFT, there was an exclusive event that everybody got the coordinates for, or the pin drop, or whatever the fuck, and anybody could go to that had the NFT. So he gave me one of his, and yada yada yada. Turns out we didn't even need it. We didn't even need all that. But the event was put on by these NFT people, and by the time we get there, the mushrooms are working. Now, I've gone over the process of how mushrooms work. And for those of you that don't know, I have no problem going ahead and telling you that. It starts off with the yawns. Once the yawns start to work, once they start to come on, you're like, all right, it's about time. And you get it in your head. You're like, it's almost like a dreadful feeling. You're like, oh God, we got to go through this. It's like a really weird. It's hard to describe. It is very hard to describe. But we're on that point on the subway, and then from there you get like the anxiety. Oh fuck. You notice things. People are fucking. You think people are looking at you. You hyperfixate on all your little movements. That kind of doesn't go away. The hyperfixation. But at the beginning, it's intense. You're like, oh God, especially with dosages and types of mushrooms and whatever. And then that slowly starts to fade out, and next we're starting to get into our peak of absolute fun. Everything's fun. Everything's funny. Everything looks great. Your acuity has gone up, which is an actual thing that psilocybin does. You can see better, especially at nighttime. And by the time we're at the Nas concert, that we're at like the beginning. We're at the beginning of the good part of mushrooms. And they're working. They're definitely working, and we're super hyper focused. Now, mind you, I gotta set the environment for you, right? Set the vibe. We're in this like field area. There's a fashion show going on as part of this event, and then Nas. There's a big stage, cool stage, and it's on the water, right? But what's cool about it is it's getting dropped into the water and out of the water. So there's moments during the performance where the stage is moving, like up and down like a boat. And then there's points where it's just chilling. And there's drones flying around. There's screens. The screens are showing absolute perfect cinematic images of the show. You could probably find the show recorded somewhere. And it was... and behind him, again, the Brooklyn Bridge is right to the left. Perfect. And then right behind him is the New York City skyline. The sky is... It's like evening time, so the sky is all pink and fucking... crazy colors, the clouds. It started to rain a little bit, and the lights. It was a phenomenal start to an even better night. And at that point, we were just absolutely in awe of what was going on. It was a lot to take in, a lot of stimulus to take in. So now that he goes on for about 30 minutes, which was perfect, right? An hour would have been too much. 15 minutes would have been too short. He's up there for about a half hour. And he kills it. He does all his hits. We get to hear all the good stuff. Little advice, always add spice. Don't forget the liquor with the ice, whatever the fuck it is. And I know that's not even his part in that song, but he did that song. If I ruled the world... And then Braveheart, New York State of Mind. I mean, fucking everything, dude. He's talking about Brooklyn. He's talking about fucking New York. It was absolutely fucking phenomenal. It was a great moment in time. So from there, we're like, all right, what's the next move, brother? We need to start getting hammered, going to clubs, and switch things up. So what we did was we moved on over. We walked down the street to the place where everybody takes the Brooklyn Bridge picture. You know the spot that I'm talking about. Every person goes there. Every white girl puts their leg up in the air, bent behind them, and, puts their hand there. And it's beautiful, and they have some quote, in the Big Apple, or some fucking stupid shit. Right? Everybody's seen that picture. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know the background. That's where we were. That's where we went after the concert to roll up some weed. Now, again, mushrooms still working. They're not crazy, but they are working. We roll up some weed. We smoke a blunt on some stairs. And we come up with the idea. And this is where it starts to heighten, probably because of the weed. This is where the trip starts to heighten. We're not at the peak yet, but it starts to heighten. And we're like, all right, we got to get to the city. How are we going to do that? We could take a train. We're not going to Uber. It's too much fucking money. And I'm like, dude, it's early. It's kind of nice out. Let's walk. How long of a fucking walk would it be? I'm like, if it's like 2 hours, then fuck it. We won't walk. It's fine. But if it's like an hour, who gives a fuck? It's 8:30. No, that wouldn't make sense. It's like 9:30. 9:30. It's still kind of nice out. Sun is barely set. We can... fuck it, let's just walk. And he's like, cool. He was totally down for it. But this is how I knew that the mushrooms were starting to kick in. Because Kevin is usually a pretty logical guy. He doesn't want to bullshit around. Sometimes he does. But he goes, let's walk there. Let's see if we can get there without our GPS. And then he's like, we got to get on the bridge. We got to get to the Brooklyn Bridge. It's the only way to get there. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's try to do it. So we end up walking literally in a circle. Literally in a big fucking circle. But the circle was literally it was a park. I don't know what the park was, but it was literally the most beautiful fucking scenery and landscape you could see at that moment in time. Again, nighttime. We're looking at the Hudson. I think it's the Hudson. It's got to be. Big fucking black river, and on the other side is the city. Fucking Manhattan. Beautiful. Boats going by. There's fucking 2 bridges on either side of us. Manhattan Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge. They're just, it's phenomenal. And we are blowing our loads. We couldn't believe it. We were just looking off at that shit like, holy fuck, this is crazy. And again, not the peak, but close. Peak of the trip. After a while, we're like, all right. I quit. Let's get to the fucking bridge. Let's see if we can get to the bridge. Or, yeah. Did we get to the bridge without the GPS? I don't remember. No. Yeah, we started using the GPS to get to the bridge. And then we got to the bridge. We're walking on the bridge, and that's it. This is it. This is where it all goes down. This is where life absolutely like changed for this moment. In this moment in time, we're walking. It is absolutely surreal. We even looked. We couldn't believe it. We're looking at each other saying, "This is fucking nuts. This is crazy." Obviously, it's the mushrooms talking, but we're walking on a monstrous fucking bridge, one of the most famous bridges in the fucking world. Everyone knows about the Brooklyn Bridge. It's in movies, it's in shows, it's in commercials, it's in fucking advertisements, everywhere. Everyone knows the Brooklyn Bridge. There's people, there's fucking cars, just traffic on either side of us. And we're walking. There's plenty of foot traffic, thousands of people, hundreds of people walking by us. We're walking toward them. And on either side, again, it's just we're super high up, right? Because we're on a fucking monstrous bridge, super high up, and crazy views on either side. And there was our peak. It was our peak of the mushroom trip. And what a place to do it. What a place for it to happen. And our mind, and I kept referring to this. I'm like, how the fuck? Because once we got back like on regular land, it literally dropped off. We were still high, but it dropped off. And the trip dropped off is what I'm saying. And I remember just being like, how the fuck? Like our mind just knew in that moment because of how stimulated we were. That like, okay, now we're back on ground. It's hot again, right? Because when you're up on a fucking bridge, thousands of feet in the air, and there's water, not thousands, hundreds. There's water on either side. There's cars passing by. It's not that warm, but then you get back on land, and there's people all around, and there's fucking buildings, and now it's hot. You're like, God, time to, not be high anymore. But once we got to there, it was crazy, and I was like, wow, your mind just knows. Your mind just knew that at this point it is time to stop fucking around and get back to reality. But the whole time on that Brooklyn Bridge, guys, it was absolutely fucking surreal. One of the craziest experiences I've had. Not in terms of outlandish tomfoolery, but just experiences and moments in time. One of the craziest ones I've ever had. And so once we get past that, we walk to the... Greenwich Village. That's where it was. Walk to Greenwich Village, and now it's time to drink. And again, we're professionals, guys. We get there. It's 10:30. Perfect. The mushrooms have keeping us awake, or have kept us awake, and we're ready to start drinking. And the mushrooms will keep you up. They'll keep you going, especially if you want to put some of that drink some of that poison, which is exactly what we did. And I'm drinking water throughout the whole night, so just to make it happen. I ate that day, and the whole time I was saying, if we documented this, it would be called The Professionals. That whole experience be called The Professionals. We went till the club stopped serving, 4 a.m. We went to a couple different clubs. The one that we ended the night off at was fucking... It was so funny that we ended up there because it was they were playing like disco-y type music. It was so awesome. Not just disco, but it was so good. It was just hit after hit after hit. And I don't know about everybody else, but when I'm in the club and when I'm trying to have a good time, I want to know the lyrics to the song. I want to be able to sing the song out loud while I'm dancing. And this place was perfect for that. Perfect. And mind you, clubs in New York are absolutely fucking mobbed. Full of people. Full of fucking... Oh, wait. I didn't mention this. So we ended up... The first place we started at was called Off the Wagon. Kevin, good spot. He likes the place. He's like, we're going there. We're starting there. We went there. As soon as we go in there, Kevin's wearing a Postobon shirt. Colombian. And these two bombshells. Oh, my God. In tight dresses. These two older women, Spanish. Hispanic of some sort, maybe Colombian. They started speaking Spanish to him, and they took a picture with him, and I'm like, wow, good start. And then they disappeared. They were fucking with two other guys. It's whatever. But we hung out there for a little bit, and then we moved on. We went to a couple other places. I saw a bunch of Irish guys pissing on a wall, and I got next to him and started peeing right next to him. And one of the guys, he looks at me and goes, he's a horny fucker, isn't he? That was like Australian. Mate, I can't do it. Who gives a fuck? It was just funny because he was facing me pretty much. I wasn't looking at his dick, but he was facing me while he was peeing, and I was basically facing him. It was a little weird. He couldn't see my dick, but if I looked down, I probably could have seen his because I was kind of in a corner. He wasn't really in a corner. He was hoping that nobody would walk the other way. And while I was peeing, it was starting to create like a real I had to pee a lot. I was standing there for a while, and I pissed way more than those guys. And my shit was just streaming into the sidewalk, and these four girls just had to like walk over it. I kind of felt bad, but hey, that's New York, baby. So after defiling a public space with four Irish guys, we went to another club called Sweetie, where me and Kevin met three other ladies, and one of them had my exact sense of humor because she goes, she's like, why are we even doing this? This doesn't even matter. And I look at her and I'm like, nothing matters. Nothing at all matters. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And we started going back and forth. And that was funny. That was funny because you rarely meet a girl with that sense of humor. But she was funny. And then from there, we went to that last club. And then we got some garbage pizza, ate it, and went home. Went to sleep. And Kevin has a basement. Not a basement, but it's like the other part of the apartment is downstairs. And the girl that lives down there has her own room, and then there's the living room where I usually sleep, and I slept on the futon, but this girl has a cat, and the cat is always fucking around down there, and I woke up so fucking congested. I'm blowing my nose all morning, bleeding out of my nose. That's how much I'm fucking blowing it. Sniffling all day. People probably thought I was doing drugs. They'd be right, but none that go in my nose, and I woke up in fucking terrible shape. I woke up, I don't know about you guys, but after a night of debauchery, I can't sleep in. Not always. Sometimes I can. But there's some times where I just don't sleep in. Like, we got in legitimately, the birds were chirping, the sun was starting to rise. We got in, it was like 5 in the morning. I set an alarm for 12 because I didn't know what to expect. And I woke up at 10. So I really got less than 5 hours of sleep. And then from there, Kevin's roommate, Eddie, was like, we're going to go to an art gallery. You want to come? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we went and did that. And before we did that, though, I was like, so, Kevin, are we actually down to do this again tonight? Because I forgot to mention on Friday, I was like, yeah, let's do it. We should hang out again tomorrow. I'll stay tomorrow. I'll change my train ticket. And he's like, yeah, fuck yeah. And I'm like, awesome, cool. So today I need to go, today being Saturday, I need to go and get some clothes because what had happened was the shit I was wearing, I also slept in. It was fucking disgusting. Did I sleep in it? No, I changed. Yeah, I changed. But I sweat in it. We walked all fucking night, sweaty, fucking vile. And I didn't want to wear it. Plus, I had a black shirt. It was all dirty. I leaned on vomit, I think, in the club. It was fucking disgusting. I was so upset about that. I was able to wash it off, but it was just fucking gross. So I needed new clothes. I needed some new clothes, which is what I'm wearing now, right? We got this shirt. This is all from a thrift store. This cost me $18, this fit. The shoes I already had, but look at these pants. These fucking khakis. They're a little short. I like the fit, though. I was able to make it happen. $16? Come on. Cheapo. This is somebody else's clothes, but I don't give a fuck. Who am I? So anyway, we go into the city and we start going to these art exhibits, which was cool. Very cool. I can see why there is such an artistic presence in New York, aside from how many people are there and how well the entertainment industry is in New York. How big it is, I should say. But the artist community is obviously a monstrous fucking aspect of New York because they have these spaces in these buildings that these artists rent out for, thousands and thousands of dollars, if I had to assume, and they just display their shit. And it's cool. Like, the stuff is cool. It's not like some fucking lame-o, it's not like the shit that I have on the walls here. Like, I have some cool artwork, but it's not, it's like Situate Art Festival artwork. This is legit. The rooms you're going into are all white and marble. It's like a fucking movie scene, And then there's just all different kinds of art. Crazy art, fucking landscapes, anything. And we went to probably, four or five different exhibits. And that was cool. We did that in the daytime. Then we grabbed some food at some place where they were very, very upset that we weren't spending more money than we were. All we wanted to do was get a bite. It was like we went in and the host was like, "Hey, you guys drinking? Food and drink?" And we're like, "Probably just food." And the guy like sucked his lips and rolled his eyes. We're like, "What? What do you mean? Do you guys not serve food here? Like, fucking pricks." Same thing with the waitress. You could feel a cuntiness in the air about her. Nice girl. But anyway, we do that, and by this point, it's like 4 p.m. It's hot. Again, hot. We're walking around. I am fucking tired. My eyes are red, right? We smoked a little bit, but my eyes were like bloodshot red. Like, because, again, blowing my nose all day. I'm like stuffed up and stuffy. It's hot. I'm tired. I'm wearing nasty fucking clothes. I didn't get to shower. That was the big one. I didn't get to shower in the morning. I just kind of went out, threw water in my hair, brushed my teeth, wore the other shirt that I had that also had stains on it. So I just looked like a fucking bum, and I felt like one. I felt fucking terrible. But I stuck it out because it was cool. It was fun, and I didn't want to be a fucking lame-o. But the combination of everything was so tough to deal with. Warm and fucking just brutal. So from there, we went over to a spot called L Train, I think. Yeah, L Train in Brooklyn. And we went ahead, and I went thrift shopping, which I had never done before. It was Eddie's idea, Eddie being Kevin's roommate. I just wanted to get something quick for the night, just for the night. Maybe I'll never wear it again. I think I will, this shirt. Like I said, I made fun of the shirt, but it's kind of sick. It's dope. I fuck with it. And I look like a fucking coke lord. But we spent some time in there. It was tough getting pants because they don't have, at least the shirts, they have large and whatever, but pants, you got to look for waist and length, as some of you may know if you've ever gone shopping for pants. So that took me a little bit of time. Plus, I needed to find something that matched the shirt and the shoes. Eventually, we made it happen. We got back to Kevin's house, and I finally got to take a shower. I was dreaming about that shower all goddamn day. And, no. I didn't shower yet. We laid on Kevin's bed, and I fell asleep. I was exhausted. It was perfect. I fell right asleep, and then he woke me up at like 7. That's when I showered. I showered then, and I felt so goddamn good after that. Oh, yeah. I was ready to go after that. My cock was hard. I was bumping into things. I was knocking things off shelves and tabletops and surfaces because of how rock hard my cock was after that shower, and I felt good to go. I got dressed in my new old clothes. Kevin did the same thing, showered, got dressed. Did we take any bong hits? I'm trying to remember. I don't think so. And then we went out. We went out a little earlier than normal, and we stopped at one spot, had 2 drinks there, went to another spot, tried to get drinks there, and left because it wasn't happening. It was all dude bartenders. There's not one of them is going to go to a guy and say, "You want something to drink?" We just got to stand there like fucking momos, 3 rows behind everybody else. So we left. We left that place, and then we went to Sweetie. We went back to Sweetie because I never said what happened on Friday when we went to that spot. They wouldn't let me in because I didn't have any girls with me. They let Kevin in because the line was Kevin, those 3 girls we met, and then me. So Kevin was like, yeah, there's 5 of us, all of us. We're all going to get in together. So Kevin got let in first, and then those other girls, weird as fuck. There was a 23 and over limit as far as age that night, or age requirement. So they couldn't go. They couldn't get in. They were 21. So they got kicked out, and then now it's me alone. And then they switch the bouncers. So the guy that comes out is all, oh, I can't let you in without girls. I'm like, my buddy's down there. He's like, sorry. I'm like, it's just fucking me. You can't let just me in. It's not like it's me and 7 guys. It's one fucking guy. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, we went back there on Saturday and it was fucking drier than my fucking asshole. It was terrible. It was so boring. But we drank there, of course. And then we left and we went to the hot spot. Kevin's favorite place. They talk about it in the group chat all the time. And you guys, my devoted fans out in New York, you guys may have heard of it. It's called Yucca. It's a club that plays pretty much all Hispanic music. Now, this is why I was sort of, at the beginning of the night, I was sort of like, oh, this kind of sucks because I don't know any of the words. I can't sing to the songs. Plus, being able to know the lyrics, you can use that as clout, right? You can sing to a woman. I didn't get to do that. So, but I did meet a good girl, nice girl, Polish girl from Poland. She's pretty cute. She took a liking to me. We danced. And I mean, that was it. It was, and the place was packed. We waited in line for a while. Bouncers out there letting, 6 girls at a time in. We're waiting. We've been waiting 20 minutes. Oh, come on in. 5 girls and a guy. Like, it happens. We get it. We understand. It's part of the game. But had a very good time at Yucca. Had a very good time that night. Had a great time that weekend in general. In fact, Yucca was so much fun. We went back to that other spot that was playing the disco songs, and it was dead boring. Like, it wasn't same amount of people in there, but it just didn't compare. Like Yucca, the girls were dancing. There was promiscuity going on. It was nice. That was good. That's what you want when you go to a fucking club, to fuck around. And then after the club, I wanted to smoke, and I bought a Black and Mild because drinking and smoking is nice. And now this night, I'm way more hammered because there's no mushrooms to counteract it. Now I'm pretty fucking hammered, and I smoked the Black and Mild, and I tried to do pull-ups on a thing, and I burnt my arm. But that's not here nor there. But anyway, I forgot to mention the cigarette part. I took a hit off a cigarette, guys. For the first time in my entire life, I took a hit off of a cigarette. And it was fucking disgusting. It was terrible. It was so bad. Like, I hit it and I felt it in my chest. It wasn't good. It wasn't good, but I found myself, after that, wanting to smoke. Crazy. One hit. And I wanted to smoke. And this was the night before I got the Black. So this was Friday night. The Black and Mild I got on Saturday night. And that's basically a cigar. It's like a cheapo fucking cigar. But I was like, come on, Kevin, let me hit that cigarette. Let's see what it's all about. Because he knew. All my friends know that I've never smoked a cigarette. And the reason why I never smoked a cigarette was because my grandfather had emphysema. And my friends know that I have a very particular affinity for my grandfather. I like to think that I'm like him. I'm named after him. So I try to be like him if I can in any way. He's one of my main role models. And I made a promise to myself that I would never, ever hit a cigarette. I would never smoke a cigarette. And up until that point, I did. Now, I have been, in recent years, dissolving the illusion of morals, which is where you get this asshole, where you get this guy who talks about, people getting murdered in the same way that you would talk about fucking the news or something, the weather, right? I guess the news and people getting murdered, there's not much difference there. But that's what you get. That's where you got the cynical fucking comedian. Because I've dissolved any bit of morality in my mind. I don't care about any outcomes. I have no opinions on things. And that's where I am. I have no values that I hold near and dear to my heart. I don't care about honesty or respect. I don't care if you give me those things. I'm honest, right? I'm honest, but from time to time I could be pretty goddamn disrespectful. And I mean, as honest as we all are, we'll lie to get what we want when we want it, right? You could be the most honest motherfucker in the world. People know you for your honesty. Sorry, chewing ice. People know you for your honesty, but if there's something that you want or something that you need, even more so, how about that? You need something. You'll lie like a motherfucker. You'll lie. I was telling Kevin yesterday, we walked by the Roxy Hotel, and when I was first trying to move to New York, and I ended up in New London, I was pulling out all the stops, and I went to the Roxy to try and get a job. They didn't hire me. But I was also trying to get an apartment at the same time, and I told the person leasing the apartment, hey, I'm trying to get a job. I just got hired at the Roxy. Lied. They said, hey, get us an employment letter, and you're good to go. So I forged one. I made one up, and then she started asking real questions about it, and I was like, fuck, I don't know. I can't. So, long story short, honesty, we all abide by it. We try to, but we lie when we fucking want, right? No one's 100% honest all the time, which is an illogical, that's an idealistic way to even look at honesty. Nobody's always honest all the time. Nobody. I'm starting to get allergies just sitting here. I don't know what it is. Oof. But, yeah, so through dissolving all those morals and all that shit, one of the last, the last hurrahs was the fact that I never smoked a cigarette my whole life. And I didn't smoke the whole cigarette. I just took a hit off it. And it was disgusting. It was terrible. But the last of the Mohegans is finally gone. Look at that. Sorry, Gramps. Sorry, Nonno. I smoked wine. I mean, really, I smoke cigars. I like cigars. I don't know. They're cooler to me. However, I do feel cool as fuck when I have a cig in my hand. That 1 second. And when I do smoke the CBD cigarettes, I feel cool when I have those. I might get a pack later on. Mainly because I ran out of weed. But when I smoke weed, I roll them in backwoods, and that's tobacco. That's just a tobacco leaf, and I inhale that. You're not supposed to inhale cigars, and I know there's way more tobacco in a cigar than in just one leaf, but still, I'm fucking hitting that's just as bad. I can get emphysema from that too. So, but if I want to keep this rich, buttery voice for all of you to listen to hear the obscenities that come out of my fucking mouth and mind, then I'm going to keep smoking. You got to keep smoking. But long story short, guys, this weekend was basically a coping mechanism, I guess, for the bomb that was dropped on me last week and how my relationship is over. Which, again, the only silver lining is that I have no ties to anyone anywhere. I can go to New York. I can go to New York now. Once the lease is up, again, if I can do it sooner, I will. I don't think I can, but I will if the option arises. I just need to sell some of this shit, downsize, get a lot of this shit out of here, and then New York. Now once I get there, I can finally attack comedy the way that it's meant to be. Not the shit that I'm doing out here. Driving an hour to go do an open mic just to be in the community kind of sucks. At least if I'm in the city, I can bounce around the city to open mics. I'm already there. Whereas here, I go out to do one open mic every night, an hour away, and not really getting anything from it, if I'm being honest, right? I'm in the community. People know me, but I'm not getting booked on shows. None of that shit's happening. So, I don't know. It's gotten increasingly tougher out here to do comedy, and I don't want to let it wane my drive for it. So in my mind, I just have to do it for another 10 months, and in this time, I just have to figure it out. I got to get ideally, I would like a remote job. If any listeners on here, please, if you know anybody that is hiring remote, get in fucking contact with me. Please, you don't even need to follow me. You don't need to do any of that shit. Get in contact with me. Please, Lord, help. I'm tired of working at Mohegan Sun for no money, man. It sucks. And, it's something I have to do because it's the only money I have. Like, in these 10 months, I have to relentlessly pursue getting a remote job and continue my relentless pursuit on comedy. And that's what's happening. That's really what's happening. And you know what? I think it'll happen. I think by April, I'll finally be in the city of my dreams. I think it'll play through. And I have to keep that mentality. And if it doesn't, well then, as Norm Macdonald said, I'm going to have to take a trip to the rope store. And then right next door, they got the rickety stool store. So I'm going to have to figure that out as well. But yeah, that's the deal, guys. That's the deal. That's what I did this past weekend. Again, big coping mechanism, big trip. That's usually what people do. Or they fall into their work, which is what's going to happen next, right? Because I spent all my fucking money. Not all of it, but fucking too much, right? I make no money. I make no money, guys. So I spent as much as I could. I had a good fucking time. I had a great time, actually. So I don't mind spending the money. If there's some fun shit out there, I want to be a part of it. And that's the coolest thing about artists. It's fucking scary. It's a scary thing to try and do, to try and make a living off of ideas, right? Because that's all being creative, and that's all artists do, right? They get paid for coming up with things, coming up with ideas, and people find it entertaining to interpret the art. So yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to live like a comedian would. And that's what the fuck is happening going forward. Now, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this episode up. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sure this was kind of a tough one to listen to, just solely on how jumbled my speech has been today. Like I said, did a ton of traveling, slept, 10 hours in the past 2 days? Rough, very rough. So, but I didn't want to fuck off. I wanted to come on here. I wanted to get right to it. I wanted to still be in my cool fucking cocaine clothes, and I wanted to give you guys something. You know, it's a little shorter than usual, but this is episode 209. It feels like I just hit 200, guys. It feels like I just did the State of the Simian address, and we're already almost at 210. I am in awe of myself. Not even in an arrogant way. I am in awe of myself that I'm able to consistently get 2 of these out. Even more so now where it's just me on here doing shit like this. And sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. Most of the time you come on here, or I come on here, I try to be funny, I try to satirize things. But other times I come on here, I just want to tell a story. I want to talk about what's going on in my life. But that gets too preachy. Like today's episode would have been better if I could speak it to you. But I wasn't being preachy. It was just, I had a good weekend, and I want to tell you motherfuckers about it. Maybe inspire you to go out there and have a good fucking weekend. But we're far from it now, motherfuckers. It's Monday. It's Monday. Get to work. Punch that motherfucking time clock, baby. But dates, any dates? Let me look at my calendar. Of course fucking not. No dates. I'm going to be at the Portland, Maine Comedy Festival in a month, roughly. Right, a month. August. End of August, 25th to the 29th. So, show up if you want. If you don't, I really don't care. I'm going to see if I can rebook the industry room for July. If not, maybe somewhere else in New York. But that's it, motherfuckers. I'm done rambling on. Have a great Monday, and I'm going to talk to you Thursday. Hopefully, a little more rested, a little more well-spoken, and a little funnier next time. All right, motherfuckers. Peace. I'm back to reiterate all the stuff that I said at the top of the show. Follow and subscribe. Bye-bye.